Hello YouTube, this is Silver Edge Dave, and I am doing a update add-on tip of the day. The other day I put up a video and I talked about this smoke-ruined box of beautiful comics that should have been dumpstered, but this little trick with the volcanic rock and the smoke remediation chamber really just knocked it out of the park. Did a great job. So what I want to add to though is I've done a couple of videos now where I've talked about odor, okay, and in comic room maintenance. And so on that video the other day, this is the one, okay, that was just there. I talk in the video about the volcanic rock that I'm using. That's really, if you look through the little grid down there, you can't really see it, but if you look through the grid, I built a grid shelf, and the rock is underneath there. And that rock does awesome. It pulls odors out of everywhere, and it's great stuff. And I have, you know, a bag of that volcanic rock that sits here in my comic room all the time, and it's just absorbing. And on hot days, I'll take it out of here and I'll just have it sitting outside. Okay, so that's a volcanic rock. So Creature had a great comment on the original video. Said, hey, I'm having issues with my small man cave. I have to keep it shut tight because of grandkids. I collect marbles too, so I'm careful that they're, if they're in my room. My space is small, but it's all mine. I have many comics in there, and the smell can be a tad offensive someday. I use a Scentsy burner, but I'm going to get some of those rocks. How many do you think it'd take for a small room? And so I commented to him, or I replied to him that, hey, you need the 1-2 odor punch, and there's a third part of it that I've never talked about before. I don't think I've talked about before, so I'm going to do that now. Let's walk over here, and I'm going to show you the triple punch for any comic room. It's really a comic necessity. I did a whole video, so I'm going to set this bag of volcanic rock there, and these come with a little label on them. Lowe's or Home Depot. I think these bags are like $7 or something like that. Okay, any of the hardware stores. You can order them on Amazon too. It's just odor absorbing rock or something like that it's called. And I did a video on the damp red, which eliminates moisture. Okay. And in my room, it's a reasonably sized room, but really it's probably not that much bigger than the space you're using for your own comic room. Maybe your room is dedicated to more than one thing, or who knows. But especially if it's in a basement, there's always going to be moisture issues. In my room, I have the windows. I'll have a video coming out soon on how I built these custom covers, because I don't want any light coming in, no UV damage to the book. So I keep it locked up tight. I've got 2 doors, but 99% of the time those doors are shut. So the room is just sitting. And it is climate controlled in here, but it's still a room that just sits. So you're saying, well, what's the third thing, Silver? It's this little guy down here to the right. Okay. I keep a fan running. Not 24/7, but especially in the summer when there's more moisture in the air, I keep that fan running all the time. I don't want that air to get stagnant. I don't want it to linger. I want the air passing across the damp rid so the damp rid can work best. I want it passing around and through the volcanic stones so that it can get any type of that old paper odor or wet paper odor. I don't want any of that stuff. So that is my triple punch. I think every comic room needs to have these things, and so check them out. If you don't do the triple, give it a try. Let me know what you think. I did have one person comment that, hey, you can do this with going back to getting the scent out of things, that you could do it with bounce dryer sheets. And I have heard of that. My problem is I don't like the smell of the bounce dryer sheets, so I don't use those. And I did have someone also comment that you could use charcoal to do the same thing. And I thought that was a great comment. I'm going to scroll here and try to find who that was. But they said it's not the kind of charcoal that you use for a grill. Let's take a peek here. Oh, here it is. Splash Page Comics. Okay, Mr. White Gloves. Charcoal works great, but not the stuff you put on the barbecue. Have used this method for years and works great. So I'm not sure, Mr. White Gloves, what charcoal you're talking about. So maybe you can, you know, tag this video and add to it just so we know. I think as collectors we help each other. This is Creature's little site, and Creature's at 197, guys. So let's see if we can bump him up over that 200 mark. He is a great guy, great member of the community. Splash Page, he's also a great member of the community. He's got, let's see where he's at. He's at 387, so he's right at 400. So I'm going to put links for both those guys and give them a look, see what you think. That is the Silver Age Dave add-on triple whammy tip of the day. And I wish you the best in your hunting, but what goes along with hunting is room maintenance, and I am all about taking care of the stuff we spend so much time with. So with that, Silver Age Dave is out.